14th August 2013, a sad day indeed. A massacre planned. A feeling of helplessness as an individual. I stood and I said, "Oh Almighty Allah, open the gates of heaven. Our martyrs are on their way." The sun, from its vantage point, witnessed the massacre. The ground crimson from the blood of the martyrs, the wounded, and the dying, and took shelter behind the clouds, casting a shadow across the righteous nations. Refusing to emerge, how can I shine on this dreadful day? Brothers and sisters, it was indeed a sad day. The United Nations, as a platform for debate, I suppose they have done a lot of good, ensuring there's a platform for debate. But unfortunately, it has not been able to address the massacre. Neither has the World Court. The World Court, we can't really have confidence in the World Court simply because it prosecutes selectively. So it is in the hands of the people themselves to ensure that justice is done. And not only done, as they say, seen to be done. In our own history in South Africa, we've seen a number of massacres. Sharpeville in 1961, when 69 people were killed, hundreds maimed. The issue being the carrying of a pass. But the tidal wave of freedom can never be stopped. And the army threw all its might at us, put many of us in jail. There was hardly any leadership to lead the people, yet the people persevered. And it's obvious the general, I'm not going to mention his name because I got voodoo and I don't want to break my voodoo, please. So he obviously did not read world history and how things work, and especially the history of South Africa. You would have learned that you can never, never, and I repeat again, stop that tidal wave, people's desire for freedom. I bring you greetings from the ANC Veterans League, an organization whose members have served 40 years in the liberation movement or unbroken service to the ANC for 40 years. It's not an organization anybody can join. They must prove they have 40 years service. So, and unfortunately, I found president of the Veterans League, Dr. Snooki Zikalala, and I also tried to get in touch with President Ramaphosa, but unfortunately both of them were not available. Otherwise, I'm sure that I would have brought a message of support to this meeting. What Ibrahim Rasool, Brother Ibrahim Rasool has eloquently spoken about what's happened and the situation there. So I'm not going to go over that ground again. What I would like to speak about is where to from here, where to now. 6 years is a long time for families to wait for justice. It's a very, very long time. Although in South Africa our history stretched more than 300 years, and liberation was not achieved overnight, we don't expect the Egyptian people to wait for 300 years. We need to see that that is done within 2-3 years, that the people in their lifetime see that the general is answerable for his misdeeds and for the massacre. The massacre was planned. If it was planned, it's a gross violation of human rights. But it wasn't just a gross violation of human rights. It was the intended killing of thousands of people for the sake of holding on to power, for the sake of sending out a strong message that we will not tolerate any opposition, to whip the people in line. That may work for a short period of time, but you cannot keep people at bay who really want to ensure that they have freedom in their lifetime. My contribution would be to say that what I should be looking at is how do we make this president general, sorry, Marv, he's not the president, he's a general. How are we going to make him answerable and to ensure that justice prevails? I don't know if there's a network of Egyptian people nationally. I'm not aware of any attempts to put together a network, but I would really suggest that you put together a network, and I would speak to the ANC and ask them. I don't know, maybe Ibrahim Rasool can inform the meeting if we have an ambassador at the moment in Egypt, and we'll ask the government to withdraw the ambassador, and any trade agreement, that those trade agreements must be rescinded. And we need to speak. We are all the time in contact with many other countries' ambassadors, and we need to speak to them and say to them that the Egyptian people need support. And I want to say to the Egyptian community of Cape Town that you are not alone. You are not alone. In our hour of need, Egypt assisted us. Egypt opened the doors for people that were involved in the liberation movement. And I'm saying that not only South Africa, but the world must open up their doors for the Egyptian people. Not that we want Egyptian people to leave the country. The way to change things is to remain, but sometimes that is not possible, and you have a bigger role to play outside the country, as we realized when we had the inside forces and the forces outside to bring the regime of those days to the knees. But I want to say that on behalf of the Veterans League, that we will be as far as the phone. Please feel free, any organization or any people from the Egyptian community, to contact us. And that is only the first phase. We will look at other ways of putting pressure on the illegitimate government of Egypt, asking the world not to accept them on the world councils and world organizations, and asking the United Nations to be decisive in what the intentions are, and also ask them for a commission of inquiry. I believe there is a number of commission of inquiries that have been undertaken, but I think that if organizations such as the United Nations does an inquiry, and what we really need in this situation is a World Council of Jurists with investigative powers to ensure that justice would be done. Unfortunately, we don't have that facility at the moment, and as I said, that the World Court unfortunately is toothless. but I can assure you of your support. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.